Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. The movie I want to talk about this week, or one of the movies I want to talk about this week, is an absolute classic. Made in 1967, stars Sidney Poitier, To Sir with Love. I love this film. I have seen it so many times and it never ever gets boring. The basic premise of it is based on a novel by E.R. Braithwaite. It's an autobiographical novel um, based on his experiences working in a tough East End school, secondary school. Poitier plays Mark Thackeray, who by trade is an engineer, but is making ends meet by taking a job, a teaching position at North Quay Secondary School, which is basically populated by a lot of teachers that don't care, and pupils that care even less. He's given a very tough time by the pupils who basically bully him with uh, evil, horrible pranks, their attitude, their foul language. It's a difficult film to watch sometimes. I love it. I've seen it so many times. Um, to say if ever somebody says to me, I don't really like old films, I always throw them in the direction of this one because it is an older film. It's 50 plus years old. But I tell you what, it's a powerful piece when you watch it. And I can only imagine that it caused a lot of problems with the censors due to the language, the discrimination. Maybe not. I mean, things were different back then. It was a little more accepted that that's just how things were. But to watch Poitier's character turn this class of misfits, this class of absolute nightmares around, and turn them into basically people that are ready to go out in the world and actually do something that matters. It's a joy to watch, and it's been a joy to watch many, many times. You've got a good cast in there as well. Apart from Poitier, you've got Judy Geeson. Lulu is in there, who also sings the theme song and a lot of the tunes in there. Patricia Routledge, Hyacinth Bouquet, Mrs. Bucket, she's in there. Jeffrey Bayldon is in there, who went on to play Cat Weasel. Yeah, it's a good cast, and the soundtrack is superb. As I say, Lulu sings the theme song. The rest of the soundtrack is provided by the Mindbenders. Now, I'm not sure whether Wayne Fontana was in the Mindbenders at the time, but the soundtrack is excellent. It's not available anymore, I don't believe, but you can listen to it on YouTube. But the whole feel of the film is just superb. It put me in mind of movies like Up the Junction and possibly the TV drama Kathy Come Home. It's that kind of sort of tough, uncompromising approach. Uh, it's just well worth watching, and I would, like I say, if anybody says to me that I don't really like older films, I always put them in the direction of something like this, because if you can get through the first 15 minutes, believe me, you are in for an absolute treat. It is just superb. I've seen it many, many times, and I will almost certainly watch it many, many more times. So if you do get the chance to watch it, this Blu-ray has got an absolute wealth of extras, a lot of interviews. There's one with Christian Roberts, who plays the class leader, Denham. Um, you wouldn't recognise him. Obviously, you wouldn't recognise him because he's in his 60s or 70s now. He looks completely different. You always forget these people age. You will also notice in there an actor by the name of Chris Chittle, who went on to play Eric Pollard in Emmerdale, and is still in there now. You'll know him instantly. The first time I saw it, I remember looking at it and thinking, where do I know him from? And I looked in the cast list, and then I looked it up on in a book, I believe, at the library, because we didn't have the internet back then. That's how long ago it was. And I obviously realised then that it was Eric Pollard from Emmerdale. So yeah, I would highly, highly, 100%, 10 out of 10 recommend To Sir with Love if you've not seen it before. I'm not sure what next week's is going to be. I'm erring on the side of a movie called Deep End, made in 1971, starring Jane Asher. It's a strange film that I haven't seen for many, many years, but I've managed to get a Blu-ray copy of it, and I would really love to talk about that one a bit. So, yeah. So as I say, To Sir with Love, 10 out of 10. Absolutely, completely recommend it. Right, what have I been ordering from Amazon this week? God, they must love me in that warehouse. I must have my own personal picker by now, I would think. Starts off with the Blu-rays. I showed you last week a movie called The Wages of Fear, a French production from 1953 about truck drivers transporting dangerous quantities of, I think it's nitroglycerin or dynamite, across dangerous ground with the impending explosions, etc. It was remade in '77 by William Friedkin, who directed The Exorcist, and it was called Sorcerer. I had that one through because I do want to do a comparison at some point of the two. There are very loyal followers of the original of this, as there always are with original movies, and there are also a lot of people who like this remake, who say it's really well done. If it's directed by Friedkin, it's going to be at least watchable, judging by The Exorcist, and also To Live and Die in LA, which was a superb movie. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having a watch of that and The Wages of Fear back to back, to see how they compare with each other. The other movie is from 1977. I heard a lot about this when it first came out. It was surrounded by controversy. It's supposedly extremely violent. I was too young to get in to see this when it first came out. The Chant of Jimmy Blacksmith. It explores topics of racism, to do with Aboriginal tribes in Australia, racism, prejudice. It's supposed to be a really nasty piece of work, but really, really well done, and I'm looking forward very much to having a watch of this. There are so many extras on here. There are documentaries that go on for like 2 hours, so I would like to watch the whole thing before I try and talk about this one, but I've been looking forward to seeing this for many, many years. I saw something on TV last week to do with Aboriginals, and for some that movie sprang to mind instantly, and I thought that's one that I never got around to watching. So yeah, placed an order for that one. Now this one I think I showed quite a while ago, Scarred for Life, and it's basically public information film, scary kids TV, growing up in the dark side of the decade, and it's basically it's supposed to be listing everything that gave us nightmares as kids in the 70s. Look at that for a volume. There's a lot to get through there. Now that's one I had a while ago, and I came across this one by accident. There's a second volume, Scarred for Life, to do with the 80s, which I'm really, really looking forward to. Again, it's got a hell of a lot in it. I think you've got Doctor Who in there, sort of Blake Seven, Day of the Triffids, again, public information films, all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's not really a book to read from cover to cover, although I might try and give it a go. I think it's mainly one of those things that you dip into. And finally, another book. I've been after this for a while. I keep looking at it on my wish list and thinking, go on, do it. And last week I thought, go for it. 1001 Movies That Shocked the World. I love movies that are controversial, that cause problems with the censors, that cause problems with the general public. I'll watch anything that's caused a stir. And this book lists pretty much everything, right the way back from the early days of movie. It's no good flicking through this, you can't see any of it, but again, it's a big thick volume. Goes from the early silent films that caused us problems, like the Battleship Potemkin, that kind of thing. So yeah, looking forward to getting into that one. Right, I think that's pretty much it for this week. It's a slightly new style of video, as you've seen. I want you to let me know what you think of it. I'm a bit of a technophobe, so I've been playing about with editing software and stuff like that, and sort of inserting things into the movie and this, that and the other, but I don't know whether it works or not. I need you to tell me that. If you want me to keep it the way that it's always been, I will try and do that. The main reason I'm doing it is to break it down into smaller segments, because to sit here talking for 30 minutes is not easy sometimes. And rather than get 15-20 minutes into it and drop a huge bollock. I thought I'd rather do 5 or 6, 3-4 minute segments, and if I make a mistake, I can go back and do it again. But please let me know what you think about it. The new structure. It's there for. I'm going to be modifying it over the next few weeks, doing different things with it, but we'll see how it goes. I think it looks all right, but there's definite room for improvement. So if you've enjoyed the video, as per usual, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, that would be brilliant. Like and comment on YouTube or on Facebook. I love interacting with you guys, it's brilliant. Have a good weekend, what's left of it, and I will talk to you all again next weekend. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.